The Seahawks' Russell Wilson has played like an MVP. Lamar Jackson of the Ravens is simply dynamic. Today, 5-1 Seattle hosts 4-2 Baltimore, and a marquee matchup indeed here in rainy Seattle. And welcome everybody, Dick Stockton along with Mark Schlereth, and we're happy to have with us the esteemed Rondé Barber joining our booth this week. But Mark, let me start with you and the focus on the Seahawks defense and the challenge they have going against this unique Ravens quarterback.
Yeah, this unique Ravens quarterback, the unique running game of the Ravens, the best running game in football, and it's about setting a new edge of the defense in the backfield, turning those running backs and that quarterback back into the heart of the defense. And speaking of that quarterback, Pete Carroll told us the best running quarterback in football, better than Michael Vick.
High praise indeed. Now, Rondé, the Ravens secondary, what a story they have. Earl Thomas, by the way, returning to Seattle. And, of course, this week, Marcus Peters acquired from the Rams, and he's going to start in this game. What do you make of it?
That's the biggest story of the day. Marcus Peters coming here, and what a bold move it was. Look, this defense is very aggressive, and to play this type of defense, you need aggressive man-type corners. They go make the move, go along with Marlon Humphrey, who I think is one of the better corners in football. But look, their matchup today versus the guy that is the league MVP right now, Russell Wilson, it's going to be a good one.
And meanwhile, all eyes are going to be on Earl Thomas. And for more on that, let's send it down to the field in Jen Hale.
Dick, it was almost all love for Earl Thomas in his return to Seattle today. Just a few faint boos scattered throughout the stadium. A lot of people wondered how this CenturyLink crowd would receive Thomas after his Super Bowl winning storybook career with the Legion of Boom. But then the ugly ending, the nasty divorce that has him now a member of the Baltimore Ravens. Make no mistake, though, this one's going to be competitive. Pete Carroll says there's nothing we like more than beating the guys we love. And get this, Earl Thomas has never had a quarterback sack in his career. Ravens defensive coordinator Wink Martindale says his goal is to get him one today, because who better than to get your first sack against than your still BFF Russell Wilson.
Thank you, Jane. And I'm sure very few people realize he never had a quarterback sack. Seattle won the toss, deferred, and Baltimore gets the ball first. And Justice Hill returns for the Ravens, and he is tackled at about the 15-yard line by Marquise Blair. So here is Lamar Jackson, and what a distinguished game he had last week against Cincinnati. And of course, Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, was also the offensive coordinator for Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco when he achieved those numbers. Starting from the 16. And if you didn't know it, by now you know it's loud here. Handoff is to Mark Ingram, and Ingram will carry it past the 20-yard line. Take a look at the Ravens offense, and Marquise Brown, their second leading receiver and their deep threat, not playing today, inactive once again.
And Ronnie Stanley, offensive tackle, left tackle, becoming one of the elite offensive linemen in the National Football League, really leads this running game, the physical nature of this running game. He's one to watch today.
Gain of 6 on first down, second down and 4. Jackson to throw, and the pass will be caught, and a first down to Seth Roberts at the 31-yard line, and a gain of 9 yards.
Well, a lot of questions, Mark, right, about Lamar Jackson throwing the football. It seems like every game that I watch, they turn around and run the football. But this guy has a strong arm. I like to describe him as being able to throw darts on people. It's going to be a little bit wet out here today. This short, intermediate passing game is going to be the key to the Ravens keeping this ball on the move.
Justice Hill is coming at running back, and a first down at the 31. And going to the air again for the short pass, and it's caught and out of bounds. And it was Miles Boykin on the reception. The Seahawks defensively, Ziggy Ansah, who had a fine game last week, is inactive today, and Quentin Jefferson, former University of Maryland star, taking his place, and Bradley McDougal, the strong safety, giving way to the starting debut for Marquise Blair at strong safety. Ingram back in the game after a gain of 5 on the pass. Play fake. And here is Jackson. And Jackson is going to go deep. And this pass is going to be caught by Miles Boykin, beating Tedrick Thompson to the ball. Boykin, third-round draft pick from Notre Dame on a big reception.
And anytime you get your quarterback, the guy that can run, you get him outside the pocket, all of a sudden, when you know he can run, defensive backs are eyeballing in the backfield, get a wide open Boykin down the football field, and I'm telling you what, all those people who have been critical of this kid throwing the football, Lamar Jackson puts a dime out there for Boykin.
That's a 50-yard pass play, and all of a sudden, first down at the 14. And here's Ingram. Mark Ingram getting inside the 10-yard line, tackled by Kendricks.
Well, here's the thing, Mark. When you have a running quarterback or an offense that is so dedicated to the run, in this option type of run, it's not just your normal turnaround, hand the football off. You're always looking to recruit more defenders into the box. And if you got bad eyes on the back end, right there, Seattle had bad eyes on the back end and set up that huge offensive play.
Call that the fish hook, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Throw out that bait, see who we can catch.
Second down and 3 from the 7. And it's going to be Jackson with the carry, and he picks up a yard, that's all. And Marquise Blair, rookie from Utah, making his starting debut, makes the stop and a gain of 1.
Well, that's what we're talking about, right? Resetting the edge and making this quarterback, making him turn back up into the heart, the teeth of the defense. That's what you want to be able to do. You see the handoff right there, comes back in. Blair on the tackle. That's what you want to do, be able to force him back into where all those defenders are.
Third down and 2. Gus Edwards, the third running back on this opening series for the Ravens, is in there. And it's going to be Edwards, and he's tackled for a loss. And it's Jadeveon Clowney making the big play, forcing the Ravens to go for 3.
Well, you talked about Ronnie Stanley at left tackle. He just gets whooped by Jadeveon Clowney here. And that play was dead from the get-go because of the move inside of Clowney. And Mark, you've played offensive line in the league. Is there a guy that has a better swim move than Clowney in the NFL right now? I have not seen one.
His better first step right there. Beat him right off the ball. You got to get inside leverage position for Ronnie Stanley. You know what? I praise you, and what happens?
So here is Justin Tucker, who hasn't missed yet in a while, and the 25-yard field goal giving the Ravens the lead. So Clowney, great stop for the Seahawks defense, but the 50-yard pass setting up the first score of the game on the opening possession, and the Ravens take the 3-0 lead. Ravens coming in with a 2-game lead in the AFC North, with Cleveland and Pittsburgh having their bye weeks. Meanwhile, the 49ers made it 6-0 with a shutout win against Washington, and the Rams ended their 3-game losing streak, and lo and behold, the Arizona Cardinals won their 3rd straight. So there's the scoring drive, and the 50-yard reception to Boykin set it all up. And now Justin Tucker will be kicking, and back deep for the Seahawks is Tyler Lockett. And running up to the 5 to return. Here's Lockett, ever dangerous, and Lockett crosses the 25-yard line. Bennett Jackson makes the special teams tackle. And here is Russell Wilson. Why is he an MVP candidate? How about this? 14 touchdowns passing, no interceptions. And that's the most TDs without a pick in the first 6 games in the Super Bowl era. What's better than that?
Nothing. It's impossible to get better than as good as Russell Wilson has been this year.
15. I mean, I don't know. Kind of lazy that one game, right? Yeah, he's been absolutely unreal.
And he knows he's going against the former teammate in Earl Thomas. And a first down. And here is Carson. How great has Chris Carson been with 3 straight 100-yard games? Brandon Williams making the tackle. Seattle's offensive team, George Fant, will start again at left tackle for Dwayne Brown, who's inactive. And Jamarco Jones again at right guard, but DJ Fluker is active and could play in this game.
And Chris Carson's been really the catalyst to this offense. Think about it, 3 fumbles in the first 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden he has just been on 100-yard games 3 straight weeks in a row. He has been the actuator of the offense.
And the swing pass goes out, and Chris Carson bobbled it but held on alertly. And L.J. Fort, who's starting again at weak side backer, -6 on this play.
They're lucky here. This ball is bouncing around a little bit. He doesn't catch it clean. If L.J. Fort is just a little bit more aware, he makes a play on that football. You talk about Chris Carson, Mark, and not only has he been a great runner, he's been a great receiver out of the backfield. I like to qualify these guys as 3-down guys, 3D backs. He has the ability to do everything for this offense, and tough tackle when he gets on the field and on the edge. Not many guys want to hit this dude.
3rd down and 9. Wilson on the run, and the pass is incomplete. DK Metcalf, the impressive rookie, unable to make the play. And 4th down coming up.
And this is where Seattle gets you. This is, I mean, as good as Russell Wilson has been, this is where he's incredible. DK Metcalf, I mean, that's just 6'4", 330 or 230 right there, just shoving guys out of the way. But it's the second reaction plays. That's what Russell Wilson has kind of hung his MVP candidacy on so far this season.
Michael Dixon will be kicking, and Cyrus Jones right about the 25, and he's going to try to return this. Picking his spot, none there, and down he goes at the 27-28-yard line by Cody Barton. So Lamar Jackson, who unleashed a 50-yard pass. We haven't seen all of Jackson's repertoire yet. That's why he's so exciting. He's coming out. Ravens will start from the 28, playing only their 2nd game against the team with the winning record. They lost at Kansas City. And week 3, Jarran Reed returns to action after missing 6 games with a suspension. Good pass rusher, swing pass on 1st down to Chris Moore. And a good gain out to the 34-yard line.
Now, we talked about that first pass of Lamar Jackson. I want you to watch safety Tedrick Thompson. Look at his vision here. And more importantly than his vision are his feet. If you don't have a clean pedal in the back end of the defense, you're putting yourself at risk to play action passing. We know that all this run game is in an effort to set up play action opportunities down the field. And his bad eyes to start that play, put him in bad position. He gave up a huge completion.
2nd down and 7. Here's Ingram cutting upfield, and Ingram is about 3 or so yards shy of the 1st down. Clowney on the tackle and a pickup of 4.
We talk a lot about the running of Lamar Jackson, but it's really Mark Ingram. I mean, is there a better addition in the backfield for the Ravens than this guy? I mean, when his years in New Orleans, he was sharing a lot of carries, especially last year with Kamara. But now he is the lead guy, and he is really the exploiting guy, the guy that exploits defenses with his power and his speed. Great addition.
That's sharing reps too. That'll keep your legs fresh, and he's playing with fresh legs, and he is putting his bean on people.
He has 7 touchdowns, but right now Gus Edwards is lined up as a receiver, and here is Jackson eluding the defenders, and he'll have a 1st down. And there you get an example of Jackson pushed out of bounds by Bobby Wagner, and a terrific run and gain of 10 yards for the Ravens.
I don't know how frustrating it is, Rondé, when you've got everybody covered up, you are locked down on coverage, and you've got a guy like that on the offensive side of the ball that can just make you pay.
If I can use the colloquialism, dropping dimes, that's what he does. He stops so quick and changes direction. It is impossible. It is frustrating as a defense to have a guy wrapped up. And the Seahawks told us, slow down your rush lanes. You want this guy in front of you. But when he's that athletic, it really doesn't matter.
He's carried the ball 36 times more than Ingram, so you know who the big man is on the ground here. And here's the handoff. Jackson carries himself, and Jackson, faking the handoff, goes out of bounds and picks up about 3 yards on 1st down. How about this? He already has more yards gained rushing than 6 teams overall, and that says it all.
You know what would be a better graphic on there, Dick? How many guys does he make miss per run opportunity?
Probably 460. Second down and 9.
Like baseball wins over replacement. These dudes you make miss.
Ravens spreading it out offensively. Empty backfield, and the pass, unable to catch the low pass, is Mark Andrews, who comes into the game as the leading receiver from the tight end position for the Ravens, and that will bring up 3rd and long.
The ball's just delivered a little bit low. We could talk about these Ravens tight ends, though, for a minute. They have 3 of the best in the business, and they all have unique skill sets. Andrews is the pass catcher. They've got big number 86, Nick Boyle, who can do everything. And look, they are the primary for Mark Jackson, the pass game.
Jackson getting around one defender, and his short pass is incomplete. Willie Snead was the intended receiver, and it was KJ Wright, the linebacker, battling, and that brings up 4th down, and the Ravens will kick.
You have to almost feel like you got a big win. Obviously, you turn them over on 3rd down, you're going to make them punt, but you got to have almost to feel like we just won when we make him throw the football, as opposed to let him get out there in space and run the ball, because that's when you're frightened as a defense.
I could not agree with you more, Mark.
Tyler Lockett at about the 10-yard line, and the ball will bounce, and Lockett will pick it up on the high bounce. Nowhere to go, goes out of bounds. So it's 3-0 Ravens, but Russell Wilson having an incredible year. Best year of his career, will lead the offense for Seattle when we come back. Seahawks have won 3 in a row, and they've won the close ones. 4 of their 5 wins have been by a total of 8 points. And Pete Carroll says his team takes pride in that fact. First down from the 17, and here is Carson. And not much there, maybe a yard.
So much so, Dick, that when we asked him about it, he was like, I don't care what it looks like. He doesn't need blowout wins. And in fact, he said the close wins, dealing with the adversity helps you later in the football season. They got a young-ish football team, some veterans on this team, Bobby Wagner on defense and Russell on offense. There's a lot of guys that really don't know how to win yet. And finding ways to win these close games is only going to help them later on.
Second down and 9. And here's Carson again, trying to break a tackle, and will wind up about a couple of yards shy of the first down. Good block by Nick Bellore, the fullback. And Carson picking up 8 yards.
And as I mentioned before, Carson is the actuator of this offense. You look at the first 3 games, 53 yards per game. He had 3 fumbles, and they stuck with him. They supported him, said, you're our guy. In the last 3 weeks, he has just been lights out. And I'm telling you what, punishing runner, physical runner, and he has kind of almost forgotten about those fumbles. He's not even in his mind anymore. He's running with authority, and he's not worrying about the results. He's just trying to punish defenders.
Third down and 1, and now the Seahawks call a timeout with 4:33 remaining in the first quarter, and we'll be right back after this message from AT&T. Timeout by Seattle, so it'll be 3rd down and 1. The Seahawks have been playing better on the road than at home. They're 3-0 on the road. They have 2 wins each by 1 point and a loss to New Orleans here, which is unlike this team.
And 3rd down and 1 is what they want to be in. 3rd and 4 minus, because you're multiple. You can run the football, you can run the play action, you can run the boot keep game. Whatever it is, as a defense, you have to defend the entirety of the playbook.
And here is Carson with the first down, and more. Brings it out to the 35-yard line, picking up 9 yards. And Jamarco Jones, the right guard, starting again today with a good block for Carson.
Well, the entirety of the offense really is zone read. They run so much zone read. You saw number 73 there, Jamarco Jones, with the great block. And then this is what Chris Carson does so well. Just the vision and the ability, the simple little jump cut, and then taking no prisoners going north and south, picking up big yardage on that 3rd and short.
124 yards last week is his season's high. and career high. And once again, it's Carson, but the Ravens are there, and there'll be a loss of 1 on the play. Pernell McPhee came in for the loss. Second down.
Well, we talked about how aggressive this Ravens defense is. This is what, how many 7 snaps they've had on defense? I think 3 or 4 of them have been blitzes. And you're going to notice that the Seahawks are going to put receivers in motion. Tyler Lockett on that play. They're just checking the oil of the defense. They're trying to see what Wink Martindale is doing. And if you see that corner running with that receiver, you know for a fact that it's man-to-man.
Second down and 11. This time Wilson keeps the ball. Fake handoff. Looking for targets. Can't find one. And a great play made by L.J. Ford, the former Eagle who is starting his 2nd straight game for Patrick Owasso. At the weak side linebacker position, no gain.
Well, I tell you, that's tough right there, right? When you can make tackles in the open field, if you can just tackle, that in this league alone, if you can just tackle, now this is no fun right here. Russell Wilson, but you get him, wrap him up, get him on the ground. It doesn't have to be violent. If you just tackle in this league, you're going to win a lot of football games.
So 3rd and long, which is where the Ravens want to put the Seahawks. Rashad Penny is now in the backfield, and Wilson with a pump fake and a deep throw. Flag is down, and making the reception is DK Metcalf beating Anthony Everett, but a penalty flag is down at the 40-yard line, and this pass will get inside the 30 of Baltimore. 37-yard play, and it's
Illegal
going to
contact. Defense number 34. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Anthony Everett, the backup cornerback, interfering with DK Metcalf.
Well, they're asking a lot of Anthony Everett to play one-on-one with DK Metcalf. And he is a monster. We've already discussed how big and physical he is. And he has 0 help over there. Earl Thomas is playing free safety middle of the hole, is cheating the other side of the field.
And here is Wilson, dumps it off. Jacob Hollister, one of the tight ends that the Seahawks have, and picking up 9.
It's so tough for a defense because you lose those guys when they stay in and block. 1,001, they call it wide check delay. 1,002, you're in there, and then all of a sudden you release out in the flat where everybody has their depth on the defensive side of the ball, and that's an easy completion for Russell Wilson.
And L.J. Ford again making the tackle going across the field, but now the Seahawks 8th play of the drive coming up. It'll be 2nd down and 1 on the 20 of the Ravens. And they're going to go to Carson. First down. Close to the 15-yard line, picking up 5.
Well, that was a welcome back to Seattle from Carson to Earl Thomas. I mean, this is our back right here, Carson. He's going to get out of there. Now watch this hit with him and Earl Thomas coming in there. Welcome back, my friend. You know that happened in training camp a couple of times in the past when Earl Thomas played here.
C.J. Procise and Carson are lined up in the backfield, and it's going to be on the keeper. It'll be Wilson. He slides shy of the first down at the 8-yard line. Wilson, with his first run of the game, picks up 7 yards.
Well, just his own read, right? And how many times does Russell Wilson keep this football? Not very often.
No.
I mean, maybe once or twice a game, usually at the end of the game when he's just trying to trick you and run out the clock. But I think everybody's expecting him to give that ball off to Chris Carson, and the smart player that he is, he saw the advantage, actually read out the zone, picked up some nice yardage.
And that will end the first quarter with the Seahawks threatening to take the lead. Ravens with a field goal on their first possession, 3-0 in favor of Baltimore after 1 here in the Pacific Northwest. Earl Thomas still has his fans here. We start the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, Rondé Barber, and Jen Hale. It'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Seahawks on the Raven 8-yard line. This is the 10th play of the drive that has consumed nearly 6 minutes thus far. Play fake to Carson. And going the other way, and unable to make the play is Jaron Brown. He was alone on the goal line, couldn't hold on, and no defender anywhere near him, Rondé.
How tough a throw is this from Russell Wilson? And Jaron Brown got to come down with this football. It's so well designed. They have some specialty plays, so to speak, that gets Russell Wilson to reset the pocket, put the ball on the other side, usually coming this way, and you have to catch that. That is an embarrassing drop for Jaron Brown there.
Had a big game last week. Drops this one, 3rd down and 3. Wilson getting away from danger, and the pass is going to be caught for the touchdown. Tyler Lockett, and a flag is down as well. At about the 3-yard line, as Wilson gets rid of it as he was hit by Michael Pearson Company. An 8-yard touchdown pass.
Holding. Defense, number 44. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
And it was Marlon Humphrey holding on Tyler Lockett. Penalty declined, and Seattle gets the touchdown in the lead.
Well, there he is in motion, and I'm telling you, I mean, they are, I swear to you, Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett went to the University of Hogwarts together, because when things break down, these guys are absolutely magical. They just have a connection like none other between the two of them, and they just consistently make plays like this all day long.
For Lockett, his 4th touchdown catch of the season. Those two really haven't gone together. And Russell Wilson now with 15 touchdown passes, no interceptions. And Jason Myers, as they review to make sure, as they do with all turnovers and scoring plays.
This guy's amazing. I mean, fakes one way, gets hit, thrown to the ground, and finds Tyler Lockett. I mean, it's week in and week out where these type of plays are produced by Russell Wilson, and they're taking a look, obviously, to see that this ball doesn't touch the ground. And to me, that's a catch, Mark. I don't see any way they take that away.
I don't either. And you're 100% right about the connection. Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, said to us, we want to be the best scramble team in football. And guess what? You've achieved it. Yes. Congratulations. There's no question.
So your guys are right. It was a touchdown. And now Jason Myers aboard for the point after. And on their 2nd possession, Seattle Seahawks go 11 plays, 83 yards, use 6 minutes. Tough game today between two winning teams looking for playoff or division titles. 7-3 Seahawks. Seahawks leading 7-3 with about 16 or 14 seconds elapsed in the 2nd quarter. The 37-yard catch by Metcalf was the big play in the 11-play, 83-yard drive. Jason Myers will be kicking off, and Chris Moore and Justice Hill are both back for the Ravens. And they'll take it out on the touchback to the 25. Game break time. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, after the Saints scored to make it 9-0, the Bears answered back. More specifically, Cordero Patterson answered back. 102 yards in the kickoff return for a score. 7th time he's done that in his career. That gets the Bears on the board. It's 9-7 in the 2nd quarter. Dick, Rondé, Mark, and Jen.
Thank you, Kurt. Big game there, big game here. And the Ravens will start from the 25.
Well, they've messed around with the passing game the last couple of drives. You know it's time? It's time to thunder punch somebody in the throat. Get that running game going again. Get on the edge. Get their running backs back involved.
Jackson. Knocked away, incomplete. Pass intended for Seth Roberts, and a good play by Trey Flowers. We've had rain since the start of the game. Let's check in now with Jen Hale.
Vic, it is wet and slippery down here on this field, and Lamar Jackson has been struggling to figure out which pair of cleats gives him the best footing. He's changed 3 times now. He started in molded bottoms, switched to the spikes, switched back to the molded bottoms for this drive. John Harbaugh pointed out and told them during the week, watch out, this field could get you, so it's something they're very aware of.
All right, Jen, it'll be 2nd down and 10, and Ingram looking for running room, none there, and a loss on the play. Good defensive play by Shaquille Griffin. So Flowers and Griffin, the 2 corners, last 2 plays.
They're doing a great job up front. Watch them set the edge. Mark talked about them setting the edge of the defense here. He turns back. Marquise Blair, starting at safety, strong safety today, turns back an offensive lineman and keeps Mark Ingram inside the box there, and his teammates come and rally for that tackle.
And the Seahawks have the Ravens where they want them. 3rd and long. Jackson nearly bobbled his snap. And running, and Jackson is going to get the 1st down and more. Still elusive and finally falls down. He might have had a lot more and gets into Seattle territory to the 47-yard line, and a big gain of 28.
I'll tell you, it's just not fair. I mean, he is so gifted. Catches the low snap. He takes off. Now, look, you're blitzing a defensive back at him. You're bringing like athletes at him to try to tackle him. He just runs away from like athletes. It's unreal. That was Taylor who tried to make that tackle, and then down the sideline, getting those extra yards. That is Jackson.
And now it's Gus Edwards with a 2-yard gain on forward progress. So here they had 3rd down and 10, and they couldn't corral Lamar Jackson, who ran for a big total.
That's funny, Mark. We don't work together normally, but I was getting ready to say the exact same thing. It's not fair.
No,
it's just not possible to keep this guy inside the pocket. And you notice you did say they brought pressure from one side. Right. They did not have a corresponding edge on the other side and allowed him to get out of the pocket there. But man, this kid is amazing. If the evolution of the quarterback is happening, this is the guy leading the charge.
Truly a dynamic offense. 2nd down and 8 on the 45 of the Seahawks. Jackson going deep, and the pass will be caught by Mark Andrews, the leading receiver. Mark Andrews with a great catch, having to turn around 33 yards and a 1st down at the 12 of the Seahawks.
What a throw this is by Lamar Jackson. This is just Seattle 3, and one of the hard parts about Seattle 3 is that underneath the fence, the linebackers have to play these deep crossers from the tight ends. But that throw, Mark, oh my God.
Throw was great. The design was great. You've got to pick up that over route, that backside linebacker, and you hesitate your feet for a second because of play action. You're already beat.
From the 12, and here is Jackson with the keeper, and he flips it out to Willie Snead. And Snead is out of bounds just inside the 9, and Trey Flowers forced him out of bounds. Gained 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down coming up for the Ravens.
They find so many ways to run option football. I mean, running backs, wide receivers, guys in motion, just triple option. Fake the handoff, quarterback has a chance to keep it or pitch it to the guy that came in motion. Willie Snead on the outside. It's just a unique design.
You know, Ron, everybody in the league is trying to be multiple in their passing game. The Ravens are, no. We're going to be multiple in our running game, right? They've got so many different actions.
2nd down and 8 from the 10. Here's pressure on Jackson, in trouble, and got it off, but incomplete. And what a defensive pressure put on by both Kendricks, Wagner, and Clowney.
Well, Jen talked about his cleats and sliding there, and it just so much. It's moist, obviously. It's been raining all day.
You may have to change them again.
I don't know what cleats you put on, to be honest with you here. When I played on turf, I used to like the thin ones, but obviously he can't find the right ones today.
3rd and 8. Pass incomplete. Andrews defended by Bobby Wagner. Brad Allen, the referee today, in his 6th year.
illegal formation. Offense, number 79, was lined up in the backfield. The penalty is declined. The result of the play.
That was
Fourth
Ronnie
down.
Stanley, the left tackle.
Well, it's because Mark Andrews is so far up on the ball. I used to hate this when I was a player. Look how far he looks like he's back here. It's because this guy is up on top of the football, so the refs are always looking at that. It looks like you're not up enough on the line of scrimmage, but it really is the depth perception when the tight end gets that far up on the ball.
Tucker will attempt a 28-yard field goal, made one from 25 earlier, and this kick is good. And the Ravens managing 2 field goals for John Harbaugh, but Pete Carroll's team has a touchdown, and it's 7-6 Seattle. Pike Place Market up the street here in Seattle, and a Seahawk lead after the field goal by Tucker. There have been at least 3 drop passes. The wet conditions certainly a factor thus far, and runners slipping, particularly Lamar Jackson, but despite that, Lamar Jackson has gained 40 yards thus far as a runner. Tyler Lockett will see it sail away, and they'll start at the 25. Well, welcome back to Century Field here in Seattle. Yesterday, the Seattle Sounders won a wild match versus FC Dallas to advance to the MLS Cup playoffs. Jordan Morris with the hat trick. That's not the story. Well, it is for that. But overnight, the changeover occurred. Stadium workers prepped the field for today's Seahawk game, and what a job they did, guys.
That's cool. That's amazing, right?
That was pretty cool.
It is amazing. Just over here, and obviously they can paint during when it's wet. I guess it didn't rain a whole lot last night, but that doesn't seem to bother them.
From the 25, Wilson has completed 4 of 6. Gets hit as he fires downfield, and the ball knocked away. No flag down, and it's Humphrey defending against Metcalf. And now a flag does come down, but it's toward the line of scrimmage.
Roughing the passer.
And roughing the
58
passer is
defense.
called. Let's see if it's
penalty.
against LJ
Automatic.
Fort.
First down.
Maybe.
I think that's exactly who that is against, Dick. And it's unfortunate because the coverage is really good on the back end. At 58, LJ Fort's going to come in. You'll see him coming in the right side of your screen.
Oh, yeah. The way the rules call, that's definitely roughing the passer. So that'll move it up to the 40-yard line, where it'll be a first down. Joey Hunt lines up as an extra offensive lineman for the Seahawks. Give it to Carson. Burst up the middle. And Carson gets to the 45 with Wormley making the stop.
I don't know about you, Rondé, but I just really dislike the way they call. I get that they call it the roughing the passer, but like that's a football play, and you're right there. There's contact. You make a great play on the back end. Humphrey did, and you get it taken away from you. That's the part that really bothers me.
I'm glad you said that because I was sitting here thinking the exact same thing. And look, if it's violent, usually in today's football, 2019, they're going to call it penalty.
Carson, not much thanks to Tyus Bowser. 1-yard pickup, bringing up third down and about 4 for the Seahawks.
Especially as it relates to the quarterback. I mean, this guy is so protected. We understand the value of the position nowadays, but Russell Wilson's athletic. Lamar Jackson, they're athletes. They can take this type of punishment, and I just don't think that was an egregious enough hit to be considered roughing the passer.
Marcus Peters, who was traded to the Ravens on Tuesday, starting the game, and he's in there, of course, now on third down and 4. Wilson has time. Does he have a target? He does. And a first down. Malik Turner still working. spinning his way to the 30-yard line of the Ravens before Brandon Carr brings him down. Another big pass play of 24. We've had a few so far in this game.
We certainly have, and this was eyes in the back of your head for Russell Wilson, because he starts to spin out of this thing. He starts to spin over this way, and he feels the presence of the defender. Watch, he comes out and he goes, oh, no, wait, there's the, and stops, and then throws it in the middle of the field. I mean, that guy just has eyes in the back of his head, such awareness in the pocket of where defenders are.
Well, what impresses me even more is that he's always looking for the pass down the field. You talk about these scramble plays. He showed it every single week. That was unbelievable.
Got rid of it in a hurry, didn't he? And he has time now, and the pass to the end zone, and it's knocked away. And it was Brandon Carr and Earl Thomas back there. Carr may have made the deflection on the pass intended for David Moore.
Earl Thomas plays the middle of the field unlike any safety in the league. And here's the route combination. Just David Moore on a little post, and watch Earl. Earl is the middle defender, but he's playing down near the line of scrimmage, but he knows he can turn around and find his way back to the middle of the field, but does just enough to distract that catch.
And the pass caught, and breaking the tackle is David Moore, and he'll have a first down at the 16 for Seattle. And missing the tackle there was Brandon Carr, who just made a fine play at the end zone a moment ago.
Well, David Moore started the season, he was injured, but his return has just added another dynamic to this Seattle offense, this passing attack. Last year, I should say, when he jumped out into the scene, I really didn't know much about him. But man, when you got him, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, the options in the receiving game are just outstanding for Russell Wilson.
14-yard pickup on that pass. Ball at the 16. Another pass attempt. And into the end zone and over the end zone. That pass incomplete. Lockett was the man he wanted. So it'll be second down and 10. L.J. Ford has played a terrific first half. Remember, he's come in making his second straight start for Owasso at the weak side linebacker position.
Well, they've had to be creative with personnel for the Baltimore Ravens. They've had so many injuries at safety. And last week, Chuck Clark, who's a safety, essentially played the position that L.J. Fort is playing. So they've had to be creative, and in doing so, they've ended up playing a lot of man-to-man. It's allowed them to plug and play a lot of different players, and L.J. Fort is getting after it today with all these pressures that Wink Martindale is giving him.
Second down and 10. Flush from the pocket now is Wilson. That could be a dangerous thing sometime. And he lost this into the end zone. Incomplete. And it was Lockett again, surrounded by a lot of white jerseys, including Earl Thomas, the former Seahawk. Incomplete now, third down and 10.
I mean, pick your poison when it comes to Russell Wilson. You want him to pick you apart from the pocket? Or would you rather, they're like, let's mush rush this thing. Let's keep him in the pocket as much as possible, because he goes from being maybe the best quarterback in football from the pocket to being the MVP when he's out of the pocket. So it's a pick your poison situation.
I tell you what, Mark, I would not want to have to deal with him out of the pocket. There's simply nobody better in the league to finding receivers down the field when he's on the move. And for a guy that's not overly tall and a guy that doesn't have, all these great measurables, his ability to locate guys and anticipate routes from Tyler Lockett especially is phenomenal.
Seahawks have called their second timeout of this first half. Want to get it right here with a third and 10. Well, Russell Wilson, we said, off to an MVP caliber start. How about the ratings, the passer ratings that this guy has done, plus others?
Well, I don't know if we all agree. We don't like that picture of Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, the numbers are ridiculous. Just look at this. This makes no sense. He is doing this essentially by himself. It does not matter who his cast of characters have been over the course of his years. It's him. It's the guy that was doubted when he first came out of college. The guy that was third-round draft pick, but stole the starting job after his first rookie camp. And he's just continued to evolve and become an even better quarterback, communicator, everything for this franchise. And there's not many better in the league.
He has a 110 passing rating in this game thus far. Third down and 10. From the 16. And there's the pass to the corner. And Metcalf, the intended receiver, Averett defending, and the crowd looking for a penalty against Anthony Averett. He's already committed a 1 pass interference hold already. None called, and it'll be 4th down.
Rondé, we like to call that staying in phase, staying in contact with the wide receiver. I don't know, there may be a little bit too much phase here.
Well, I think they're both looking for the football. Yeah,
both guys are hand fighting a little bit. And I've never had a problem with when both guys get a little hand fighting going on.
Well, I tell you what you've noticed is Wink Martindale is putting a lot of confidence in Anthony Averett.
And a challenge has been thrown by Pete Carroll.
Well, we've seen throughout the course of this season that if it's not overly egregious, they're not going to overturn this.
You got about as much chance of getting this overturned as the sun coming out in Seattle today, okay? That's about how much a chance you have.
Well, Pete Carroll has challenged 7 times, and only 2 have been reversed. But if he wins it, it could be a big one. Could be a big win for him. Take a timeout. We'll be back. Well, the call on the field stands, and so Pete Carroll loses the timeout. So the Seahawks are out of timeouts with 7:39 to go in the first half, and the 34-yard field goal is good by Jason Myers, and the Seahawks up their lead to 4 now, 10-6. Dean Blandino, very tough to overturn calls on the field. That seems to be, what the trend has been. Dean, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm certainly not shocked that the call on the field stood there. And the league has really raised the bar where it's going to have to be something significant, obvious, flagrant, whatever language you want to use. There's contact, but it doesn't significantly hinder the receiver's ability to make a play on the ball. They've only had 7 overturns all season, and we haven't had 1 overturn since week 3. So, again, we're going to have to see something major in order to get that call overturned.
Dean, thank you very much. And you would think that, the coaches would get the idea. But again, the timeout was not that important to lose in this first half. And if he happens to win it, it's a big one.
Well, there was such a huge emphasis, right? We all did preseason games on this ability to challenge pass interference. And I think early in the preseason, early in the regular season, you were seeing so many coaches try to take advantage of it, and they just weren't being overturned. And I believe that was an emphasis from the officiating office up in New York, and they just wanted to not make it so easy to get those calls overturned.
Touchback on the kickoff. Well, after last night's incredible pennant-winning walk-off home run, Jose Altuve leads the Astros into the World Series to take on the Nationals. Game 1 is Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. By the way, the last World Series won by a Washington franchise. The Senators beat the New York Giants in 7 games in the 1924 World Series. Even I don't remember that one.
I doubt it. I think you remember.
First down from the 25 for the Ravens. Play fake, and here is Jackson on the move, and a low throw to Roberts is incomplete. 2nd down. Those are the first 3 drives by the Ravens. Jackson has gained 40 yards on 4 attempts and has completed 5 of 11. So he has 140 yards total running and passing thus far.
I think they've had 3 drops and 3 cleat changes by Jackson as well.
2nd down and 10. Jackson experiencing this crowd noise here in Seattle. First time in his brief career. Has some time, takes off, and he slips again. Was not hit, and he fell at the 30-yard line. Gets 5 yards.
It almost looks sometimes like he's moving too fast for his own good, right? So that last pass play, he's out of the pocket, and if he takes the time to slow down just maybe a tick, just a little bit more, and find a better passing posture, he completes that pass. There, he's in the open field, and he's trying to make somebody miss so badly and so quickly that he slips.
Good balance and play selection. 50-50 just about at this point. Third down and 5. Jackson's pass knocked away. Good play made by Marquise Blair on Mark Andrews. So the rookie in his first NFL start from Utah, second-round pick, makes a big play, forcing the Ravens to punt.
How about sticking your foot in the ground right here, Blair, getting around with your opposite hand, never touching the intended receiver in Mark Andrews. You can't do any better than that, Rondé.
Well, Pete Carroll told us, look, just go look at his preseason film. The guy has got some talent. Missing Bradley McDougald today. He got some snaps last week from Tedrick Thompson. They had utter confidence in him to go play today.
Tyler Lockett on the bounce was going to let it die, and a flag comes down from upfield. So a late penalty thrown. Brad Allen. Are you surprised it's been this low scoring a game thus far?
Well, not really. I mean, both of these teams are ball control type of offenses, and the defenses play well. This is kind of what you expect.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, number 36 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty against Chuck Clark. Face mask call. But Blair making the most of his opportunity. Played well last week. But got a chance to start for Bradley McDougald this week. First down at the 45. Jalen Ferguson, a rookie from Louisiana Tech, has been at the rush linebacker spot. Pernell McPhee in the locker room with an arm injury. C.J. Procise is in the game and carries. First carry of the game and makes it count as he gets inside the Ravens' 40-yard line, the gain of 16 yards.
He is such a dynamic runner, Mark. When I put this guy's film on, aside from his ball security issues that he's had,
Watch the center get out here. I mean, they're getting to the edge. Guys, they're just interesting with all that zone read stuff to get your guy on the edge, Procise, get him going and being able to pull guys. They're just a unique team.
Carson, and he is brought down at the 34 by Brandon Williams. Both teams running well as the Seahawks are averaging 5.7 yards a carry and the Ravens on nearly 5.5.
Well, Chris Carson has gotten the majority of the running here the past couple of weeks. Rashad Penny had been out. C.J. Procise getting a couple of more opportunities, but it's the diversity of the runners. But the one thing they all have in common, they all finish downhill. And these guys take advantage of a really good offensive line and run blocking and have been stellar this year in the rushing attack.
Second down and 6 from the 34 of Baltimore. Wilson may go the opposite way, O's up the middle, and the pass incomplete. No flag down, and Chuck Clark defending against the tight end Luke Wilson. And speaking about tight ends, Will Dissly, big loss for the Seahawks, had 4 touchdown catches, and he's out with an Achilles injury for the season. A huge loss, how important he's been.
Well, here's your tight end right here. And they do so much of this reset the pocket for Russell Wilson to throw back across the field. This is at least the third play that I've seen this game of them trying to find a receiver on the other side of the offense after Russell Wilson boots to the right. Give credit to the Ravens, and they're playing a lot of man-to-man defense. It's allowing them to stick with those complicated pass concepts.
Third down and 6. Try to go long first, and the pass is intercepted. Marcus Peters, and he scores.
First interception of the year for Russell Wilson, and I have not seen him do this in a long time, which is make a bad decision. Marcus Peters is playing just off coverage here, zone coverage. He does not see him. This is Marcus Peters. Watch him just bounce off in zone coverage, eyes in the backfield, which is what he does so well. I mean, there's a reason this guy has 26, now 27 interceptions and 4 touchdowns. Is because he is a quarterback here, reading the play, and Russell Wilson getting taken advantage of by that mistake.
Can you imagine this guy coming over from the Rams on Tuesday, a couple of days of practice, starts the game, and has a 67-yard pick 6?
Yes, that's why they went and got him.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And the first touchdown of the game for the Ravens is a defensive touchdown, and it gives them a 13-10 lead with 5 minutes remaining in the half.
Well, what did Wink Martindale say to us? Wink Martindale, defensive coordinator, said, this is a guy who just goes out there and produces. Eyeballs on Russell Wilson, late throw across the football field, put your foot in the ground and go make a play on the football. That's what he's done since the day he walked in the league. Now, he will give up some big plays occasionally because he's what we like to call nosy, right? He gets around, but boy, I tell you what, on the flip side of that, he'll make some big plays for your football team.
And he played his college ball right here in Seattle at the University of Washington, and 25 career interceptions, and maybe it was the number change. He went to number 30 and then changed to number 24, which was the number worn by Brandon Carr, who then went to 39. A lot of number changes in the middle of the season. Meanwhile, for Russell Wilson, his first interception of the year was a catastrophe. Touchdown, pick six.
Russell Wilson had an interception against the Rams a couple of weeks ago, but it was negated by a Marcus Peters penalty.
Tyler Lockett. And flags fly from all over the place, 3 of them to be exact, as Lockett is tackled at the 16.
You know,
Quite the powwow we're having right here about this particular penalty.
He's gone to every guy that threw the flag, 3 of them. As Brad Allen.
There are 2 fouls by the return team. Holding, number 17. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, illegal double team block. Offense, half the distance to the goal. First down.
All right, so Marcus Peters makes a mark. For more, here's Jen.
Dick, this was especially important to Marcus Peters because while he was a member of the Rams and Seahawks played in a Thursday night football game at the beginning of this month. It was an emotional win for the Seahawks, 30-29, and Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett just seemed to have Marcus Peters' number all game long. So this was a bit of a revenge effort for him. I talked to him pregame. He felt like it was coming. He felt like he was due, Dick.
Good point. And he got the job done there. First down from the 8. And there's a pass, lofted in and incomplete as Hollister gets hit hard that time. Ball jarred loose. Any chance he had to catch the ball, and it was Brandon Carr.
I love this coming across the football field. You just loft it over there, but you're playing in man, so you're following guys all over the field. Carr coming up, making the big hit right as the ball gets there. Really nice job.
it's so hard as a defender to play man-to-man defense all day. I know they've jumped into some zone coverage at times. Marcus Peters' interception there was in zone coverage, but it's taxing on their DBs. That's why you've got to have depth at that position, and that's why they go out and get a Marcus Peters.
Slant is complete. No first down as Metcalf is tackled by Carr. Pickup of 8, so it'll be 3rd and short.
Marcus Peters is still standing on the sideline, catching his breath after that touchdown.
And here's Carson. Chris Carson getting the first down out to the 20-yard line. Under 4.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Seahawks are out of timeouts. Baltimore has all 3 of theirs.
Now your playbook opens back up. You know, you start around the 10-yard line, you condense your playbook, you take about 30% of your plays out. Now you can open it back up at the 20-yard line. You've got the full complement of plays.
They fake to Carson, does Wilson, and his pass is going to be caught by Lockett, steps out of bounds, and a first down for the Seahawks out to the 32. 12-yard pickup that time.
This is a really good route combination. You're going to see this, and you're going to see Tyler Lockett end up coming out to the sideline here. You just switch, and it holds Marcus Peters back because of the defender. There's a receiver behind him, and then the corresponding flat defender, Marlon Humphrey, there is a little late to the sideline.
And here is Carson hemmed in, and the Ravens finish the job. Good defensive job there. Maybe a loss of the play. Clark with L.J. Fort, 1 yard loss. So it'll be 2nd down and 11, and the clock showing 3:20 to go in the half. Seahawks will receive the second half kickoff. And moving to the line, flag is down and may go against the defense. Brandon Williams may have jumped.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 98, defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
So it's 2nd and 11, and a costly penalty there makes it reasonable now.
And young Jamarco Jones here, you know, as soon as you get that movement up front, go ahead. He's going to stick his hand out there, touch the helmet of the defender Williams, and say, okay, we got him. Which is great. You know, you're taught to do that, but to be a young player and to have that presence of mind to be able to just reach out there and touch and get that penalty, put yourself in a better position.
And the rain is picked up here. Been going on all game, and here's Lockett on the handoff, and it's going to backfire thanks to Jalen Ferguson, who has been in there since McPhee got hurt. So the rookie from Louisiana Tech, and a 3-yard loss there, and Martindale dialing up some good defenses here.
He just destroys the tight end here. Watch him working on, I think it's Luke Wilson, number 82, and he's trying to seal the edge for Tyler Lockett on this reverse. Not so fast. Get out of my way. I'm not only going to turn the ball back, I'm going to go make the tackle too.
And Luke Wilson had good position too. He had outside position, so he just shoved him 4 yards back and said, okay, you can have that outside edge, but what I'm going to do is set the edge with your body.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do.
Exactly. 2-minute warning here. Here in Seattle, where the crowd has been kind of muffled somewhat because the Ravens are doing it on both sides of the ball. We'll be back. 2 minutes remaining in the half, and there's Lamar Jackson talking to his offense. Up by 3, 3rd down and 9. Wilson with a deep throw, and it's caught, and it's Lockett. Marlon Humphrey. Not sure, Rhonda, you would know best whether he lost the ball, because Lockett was able to make the tackle 33 yards against a good cornerback here.
Well, it's just a balloon ball. The Ravens are going to go all-out blitz, 0 blitz. There's nobody in the hole there, and Russell Wilson recognizes it and just throws it up for Tyler Lockett to run underneath it. As a defender, it is almost impossible to find that football when it's in the air that long.
33-yard play, 1st down on the 34 of the Ravens. And here's Wilson going deep again, and this is incomplete. And there might have been somebody going out of bounds before coming back in. David Moore, the receiver, guarded by Carr.
And here's Tyler Lockett working on Marlon Humphrey. And look at the pressure up front. And as he's running across the field, the ball's just in the air for so long, Mark. I mean, I know you never had to do this, but I had to handle some of these all-out blitzes when the ball was just floating in the air.
I was the guy up front that had to pick up the 0 blitz, right, with nobody in the middle of the football field. And Russell did a great job just throwing it to an area, letting his receiver go get it.
Exactly. 2nd and 10, short drop, and the completed short pass to Jacob Hollister, former New England Patriot. They get 6 there, bringing up 3rd down as we wind down to a minute to go in the half. Remember, the Seahawks have no timeouts remaining.
Right, this is where you'd like to have that timeout that you wasted on the challenge that you knew wasn't going to get, well, at least we knew it wasn't going to get overturned.
Because we're smart.
Well, it's just that they don't like to overturn them, Dave.
Okay, 3rd down and 4 from the 28-yard line. And this pass is caught. Forward progress close to the 1st down. And making the catch was Jaron Brown inside the 25. And we'll have a whistle.
Made. There's under further review.
So they're going to take a look at that play. It would be a first down. They're going to check the spot here. Officials timeout, checking the spot to see whether it is indeed a first down for Seattle. No timeouts left. This is an important one. Timeout. Call stands. It's a first down. Russell Wilson scampering, trying to get another first down, and he does, and stops the clock by going out of bounds with 19 seconds remaining. So it was too close to overturn.
Well, nothing for Russell Wilson down the field, and he smartly takes a beeline to the sideline. Real quick, back to that first down review. If they wouldn't have given him the first down, they would have had to spot it short of the first down line again, and they would have lost 10 seconds. But in review, they decided that he indeed did get the first down and went right back to football.
First down from the 13. Wilson getting time, and he has to throw this one away. Good coverage downfield by the Ravens secondary. Want to remind you, coming up at halftime on the Visa Halftime Report, Kurt Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony. Early game highlights. Chargers battling the Titans today. Ryan Tannehill taking over at quarterback as a starter for Tennessee. 2nd and 10. Wilson is 11 of 22 for 149 yards, 1 TD and 1 interception, below what we've seen from him. And being chased from behind, and throws this one into the second row. Matthew Judon from behind putting pressure on him. So 3rd down and 10 with now 6 seconds on the clock.
Super wise decision right there, because if he crosses the line of scrimmage and gets tackled, this half is over. Understanding you don't have a play to make, throw it out of the end zone, stop the clock with 6 seconds left, and get your field goal team on.
And they're on right now. Jason Myers aboard.
That's a great point, Mark, and not a lot of young quarterbacks get that. They get caught up in the moment, and their brains go on pause for a second. But Russell Wilson, obviously the master of situational football, does a great job getting rid of that ball. Not only that time, but the play before, which would have been the exact same situation.
31-yard field goal attempt by Myers is good. 2 seconds still showing on the clock. So Myers with his second field goal. And now we're tied at 13. 2 seconds remaining.
That's my favorite quarterback growing up. He's one of the guys that made me want to play football right there. Those old Steelers teams, Terry Bradshaw, absolutely love that guy.
14-play drive, and they got the field goal to tie the game with 2 seconds remaining. Skimming the ground, muffed, and picked up by Justice Hill as time runs out. Halftime, we're 13-13, and the Seahawks will receive the second half kickoff. And it's what we really wanted in this game was a battle between two winning teams. Each of your thoughts, Rondé and Mark.
Well, I mean, I look at the Baltimore Ravens. This is the most unique running football team in all the league, and we have yet to see that. So I look to them getting back to their roots, starting to run the football the way they have throughout the entirety of the season.
Well, if I'm looking at the game as we're going into the second half, I'm expecting more Russell Wilson. I mean, the guy has found a way to create magic in all of their wins this season. This is not his best statistical game so far. He's 11 for 23, and he has 150 yards. But we've also seen him make probably the most uncharacteristic mistake of the year so far with that interception to Marcus Peters. So I think he's going to set up for a great second half. 13-13, couldn't ask for more.
And the Seahawks will start out at the 25. And Jen Hale, what did you get from the coaches, Jen?
Well, Dick, unfortunately for the Ravens, right now starter Parnell McPhee on their linebacking core. He is doubtful to return with that arm injury, still inside the locker room. But Coach John Harbaugh tells me he believes Chuck Clark is doing an excellent job in adverse conditions calling this defense, and he credits him with a lot of the Ravens' success. Meanwhile, Pete Carroll's advice to his offense: don't get over-eager, don't over-pursue, be patient, be disciplined. He's especially pleased with how those backup offensive linemen are performing today. He says their game is even better this week than last week, and that's the type of progress he likes to see.
He's happy, and that's not bad. Not very happy over this first play as Carson is knocked back for a loss of 2 by Marlon Humphrey coming up from the secondary. Take a look at the offensive leaders for the Seahawks, and as Rondé mentioned, this has not been the ideal game for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson statistically. Carson has gained 39 yards, hasn't really busted one, and Lockett, business as usual, has a touchdown catch.
Touchdown on a broken play. Does that sound familiar when it comes to Tyler Lockett?
Second down and 12. Carson going in motion and getting the ball, leaping over a defender, and winds up about 2 yards shy of the first down. Josh Bynes making the play.
It's got to be frightening if you're the corner out there and you see Chris Carson coming at you. I mean, you want to get down, you want to try to unlace his shoes, right? Get down and polish the shoes right there if you're Brandon Carr.
And the quick pass, and the first down is made. Jaron Brown with the reception, and Humphrey is all over him, and the first down gets 8 yards.
Good early rhythm by Russell Wilson in this offense right out of half. 3 quick passes, picking up some positive yardage, trying to change his field position. And look, this Baltimore Ravens defense, we know it's going to continue to bring pressure on him. And I think they keep populating so many people into the line of scrimmage, they haven't really been able to establish the running game. So one way to combat that is to get this quick passing game going, as Russell Wilson has done right now.
Seahawks have passed 10 more times than they've thrown than they've run, and that's not been their style so far. And this time Brandon Williams getting the pressure on Wilson.
Well, you're getting so many one-on-one ops outside. Corner on wide receiver. Russell Wilson's got to drop back and say, which one of my matchups do I like best? And so far today, we've seen him try to take a bunch of shots at DK Metcalf. Those shots really haven't produced big plays yet, but you know you're going to get that opportunity. And DK is such an interesting athlete that he's going to win some of these matchups eventually.
Wilson has had 7 different targets to throw to today. Lockett leading with 3 receptions. Second down and 10. Here comes pressure on Wilson, withstood by the offensive line nicely, and this pass is incomplete downfield. Hollister claiming he was fouled. Chuck Clark defending, no foul. 3rd and 10.
Well, Chuck Clark's not only done a great job calling the defense, but it's probably pretty easy to call, hey guys, just play man. But Chuck has done a good job of playing man as well. You see him right here. Like, the hand is there, but there is no manipulation of the receiver. And then Russell on the back end here takes a hit, goes to the ground.
Clean hit too by Williams. You know, a lot of emphasis on roughing the passer. I saw one earlier in this football game. He doesn't put his weight on. They're not going to call that one.
Seattle 8 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. Pretty good. 3rd down and 10. And here comes the blitz and the deflection at the line. Good pressure that time put on by Matthew Judon. And the deflection, so wreaking havoc against the great Russell Wilson are the Ravens defensive unit, and now punting situation.
They're so unique on their blitz pass. You see Levine Sr. pop out there. You see Judon come inside. Then you bring a corner off the edge. The offensive line of the Seattle Seahawks just aren't ready to see these different pressure looks. They have so many in their repertoire, so to speak. Did a good job confusing everybody there and getting off on 3rd down.
Cyrus Jones backing up to about his 7-yard line. And down he goes. So the Seahawks will put the Ravens in poor field position thanks to Nico Thorpe on his special teams play. So Lamar Jackson, who has thrown for 100 and has run for 45, leads the Raven offense when we return. Well, they've come in 4-2 on the year, but the road gets tougher for them.
Absolutely it does. This is their first real difficult road test playing here in Seattle. Be interesting. See if Lamar Jackson get a drive going here.
Worst starting field position, the 13th. The ball is loose. Picked up by Metcalf. And Metcalf, check that, Mark Ingram. Ingram with the run. And he'll end up with 2 yards when it could have been a bigger loss.
Nearly disastrous here, Mark. Lamar Jackson drops it, and just good awareness. Mark Ingram to find that football. Oblong sphere, so you never know where it's going to go. He got lucky. That thing bounced right back into his hands.
Very fortunate right there. This crowd noise obviously affecting the timing and rhythm of this offense.
2nd down and 7. Ingram to block, and the pass is incomplete. Pressure by Clowney, so we're seeing more pressure put on now by the Seahawks, and it'll be 3rd down and 7. And if they stop him here, the Seahawks could have good field position.
And this is one of those situations like 2nd and long, 3rd and long. That's not what this offense is, is really primed to do. So this is what the Seahawks want. You're falling right into our kind of game plan for you. Bring pressure on a quarterback, make you throw it before you're ready to rally up and make a tackle.
Starts with the crowd. 3rd and 7. And no first down. Pass is caught by Andrews, but Trey Flowers puts him down immediately. He only needed another yard or so, gets 5, and it's 4th down. And the Seahawks get what they want here.
What a hit by Trey Flowers here. He's just running right into zones. Andrews is. Trey Flowers with the clean hit. Head out of it.
Back
shoulder,
in the day,
shoulder.
Hey, back in the day, didn't they say, hey, don't throw the stick route into a cover 2?
Cover 2, exactly right.
Because that corner's sitting there ready to hunt you up.
They did a good job disguising their intentions there. Flowers was on the line of scrimmage. I'm sure he thought it was man-to-man, but they fell back into that cover 2.
Lockett's going to let the ball bounce, and it will go out of bounds, and the Seahawks will have good field position beyond their own 30-yard line to start this drive. And the question is, can Russell Wilson get it going? He's thrown a pick. He's thrown a TD pass. See if he gets unleashed here. Welcome back to CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. This could be an important series coming up. Good field position for the Seahawks. Russell Wilson under 50% completions from the 35. And Carson on the handoff, gets a couple. Talk about play selection. Seattle now has run 17 times and passed 29.
Number 53 is an eligible receiver.
Total yard battle as Joey Hunt is announced as a extra offensive lineman. And the flip to Carson. Carson getting some running room. First down. Carson gets the first down and out of bounds at the 47.
The misdirection, anytime you pull, you're pulling your backside. Mike Iupati on the pull. Get the flip out there. It brings everybody on the defense opposite the flip, and when you do that, you just get hesitation from the defense. Nobody can come downhill, and that's the automatic first down for Chris Carson once he gets to the edge.
Over 100 yards in each of his last 3 games, has 51 yards to this point. First down at the 47. And the handoff is going to Carson again. Hasn't been able to break much. Had a 9-yard gain, his longest of the game. Bynes making the tackle after the fumbled snap. Recovered nicely by Wilson. Gain of 2 here.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is lucky here. We saw Lamar Jackson. Look at Justin Fritz trying to push it to him as he's still moving out of the pocket. But yeah, it's again lucky that this ball gets in the running back's hand.
You think offensive linemen aren't athletic? Did you see him? He's blocking a dude, kept his hands between his legs the entirety of the time. Justin Britt may have been the greatest athletic move we've ever seen.
Second down and 8.
Hyperbole much?
From the 49. Play fake. Wilson gets out of trouble, and he's going to outrun the linebacker and get another first down for Seattle. Pressured by Earl Thomas that time. And he beat Bynes going outside and picks up 9.
Well, just when Justin Britt did something unbelievably athletic, Russell Wilson has to go one up him, and they are trying to get Earl Thomas that first sack on the blitz. Russell feels it, takes off, shakes a couple people down, finds that first down marker.
Well, don't be surprised when Martindale puts him down in the box again and tries to get another pressure. And Dick, you mentioned earlier about their play selection in Seattle, throwing the ball as much. It's a little bit, out of character for them to be throwing the ball this much, especially on a day like today.
Carson, and he drives inside the 40-yard line. Time for a game break. 3-yard gain on the last play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 on the Ravens 39. And again, they go to Carson trying to go outside. And he breaks the tackle. Still short of a first down by a couple of yards, but made a good run there. It was Fort who missed the initial tackle, and he ends up with a 5-yard pickup.
This guy's legs never stop moving. I mean, he's got some stiffness to him, right? He looks big, he's strong. But the flexibility here, this should be a tackle. I mean, L.J. Fort does just about everything right except for hold on, and he just runs right through that tackle. I mean, he's a phenomenal runner with the football, punishing running back, speed with power. It's fun to watch him when he gets going.
And the Seahawks widening the time of possession edge to about 10 minutes at this point. 3rd down and 2, and the pass out to Lockett. And Lockett tackled by Marlon Humphrey. Good play by him, and a loss of 1. Good alert play by really an outstanding corner.
And Humphrey look at him in man going across the formation. He's coming from one side to the other, following Tyler Lockett, digging through traffic. I mean, that is getting on your horse right there and stopping a first down. Amazing play when you ask a guy to go all the way across the formation in man-to-man coverage like that.
So Jason Myers will attempt to make his longest field goal of the year. This will be a 53-yarder. He's 2 for 2 so far today. Michael Dixon, the punter, is holding. And here is the kick, and it is off to the right. Pushed it. So Myers, who had missed 2 field goals and only 7 tries coming in, misses his 3rd of the year from 53 yards out. And the score remains 13-13, and the Ravens will get the ball in a good spot when we come back. So Myers' miss gives the Ravens their best starting field position, their own 43-yard line of the day. See if they can take advantage of it. Here's Mark Ingram, and Ingram gets about 5 yards.
Oh, if you turned on this game and you wanted to watch defense, you got it. Since the very first snap, it's been all about this side of the ball for both football teams. And knowing that either team is a great running offense, you've seen a lot of 8-man boxes from both of these guys, not trying to get these things going.
I think the amazing thing, too, is not only the hitting that's going on right now, but just the, like you said, the 8-man boxes up front and putting those DBs in man-to-man coverage, saying we feel like we've got great matchups.
2nd down and 7, and Ingram again picks up a couple of yards. Interesting, coming in, the Ravens were 2nd in the league in scoring, averaging nearly 31 points a game, and the Seahawks were 7th in the league, and yet this has been, as you guys point out, a defensive struggle.
Yes, and that one Ravens touchdown, of course, is a defensive score.
Right.
So this offense really has not been nearly as productive as I think we'd expected, because they haven't been able to get this run game and really have not seen the showcase highlights from Lamar Jackson. Yeah, got a big 3rd down here. See if we show up for us.
Gus Edwards is lined up as a receiver to the top of your picture on 3rd and 5. Here's Jackson surveying the field, and the pass is going to be caught, and it's going to be a first down. Good play made by Hayden Hurst, who has 13 catches coming in plus a touchdown, gets 10 yards and moves the change for the Ravens.
Well, just as Lamar Jackson with this second reaction type play, and look at Bobby Wagner saying, you are not going to get past me, throw this football, and he actually makes a beautiful throw on the move there. And a nice catch on the sideline.
You have great coverage there. You have, everything. As a defense, you've done everything right, but there is no defense for the perfect throw, and that's what Lamar made.
They're at the 42 of Seattle. Gus Edwards, and maybe a yard, and it was Clowney making the tackle. So it'll be second down and long in this 13-13 tie. Winding down to 4 minutes remaining in the third.
Clowney's done some nice work on the edge. We talked about that coming in, setting new edges. That time he doesn't get influenced by the tight end pull. He just goes right down and says, I'm going to get you in the backfield. We're not going to let you get outside.
Second down and 9, and here is Edwards again, and at first down, and Blair trying to tear the ball away from him. But Edwards holds on, and Gus Edwards with a 14-yard run and another first down after K.J. Wright missed the tackle first.
Well, he's just going to come downhill here, inside running by Gus Edwards, and the tight end comes across the formation. They get a kick out, little pull inside, but that is just getting downhill quickly, getting on those linebackers and safeties.
Well, it's like it's the third time in a row. It's just a repeat play, and that's what, as an offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, you want to be able to get these repeat plays. Here it goes again, same exact play.
27-yard line, and Mark Ingram, good run on first down, and a good block by Yonda, the right guard, the veteran, 8 yards on first down.
Well, you're coming with tight end across. You're going to pull the guard up here, and you're just going to get downhill. And that's what this offense is all about. That's what they've done so far this season. And look at the downhill cutback by Ingram right there. Get him moving one way, get number counts advantage that way, and then cut it back up inside and just pound people inside.
Ravens keep their balance. Second down and 2. And handoff is to Ingram, and Ingram fights his way for a first down with tough yards there. First down, 3 yards with 2:45 to go, and the Ravens threatening.
Look how many of the all 22 guys are within 12 yards here, and this is just Mark Ingram being Mark Ingram. Now look, he breaks some tackles, he spins off people. You talk about Chris Carson, his feet never moving. Mark Ingram's the exact same type of runner. That was a great picture of it right there.
And a first down at the 16. Gus Edwards returns to the Baltimore backfield. And Jackson to the end zone. And it is knocked away. Mark Andrews battling to try to hold on. Andrews.
Incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass. And good defense in the secondary by Seattle.
K.J. Wright just stays in the fight here because he is beat. This is a perfectly weighted pass by Lamar Jackson. He almost came away with an interception
he
there.
Just tackled the football. Look at the ISO coming down the seam right here. K.J. Wright stops his feet. He's in trouble. Go find the football. Pull it out of Andrews' hand. I call this offense a heavy spread because they're in like 2 and 3 tight ends, but they'll spread you and throw the ball, but you know they want to run it down your throat.
It's loud. And finally, Jackson is upset. Flags fly. Wanted the snap. And Lamar Jackson visibly upset.
Prior to the snap or any other infraction, there's a delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
He's asking for the ball. He's clapping. I don't know how he caught this, Ron. How in the world you're in the air? He's livid right now. And then he goes to his center, yells a little bit, says, "It's all right. We're good. We're good."
Becoming a leader, isn't he?
Absolutely, he is.
Second and 15 from the 21. And a drop that time by Mark Andrews. Second drop of the game by the normally reliable and leading receiver Mark Andrews of the Ravens.
Yeah, you could make the argument that he should have made that catch in the end zone, and here he's running before he catches it. He's already turning to go before the ball hits him in the hands, and Lamar Jackson, pretty good throw. No reason that shouldn't be a catch.
Yeah, hits you in the hands. You got to catch it. Third down now is, and Mark Andrews down. 41% of the targets go to Mark Andrews on third down.
Off the field here, and here is Jackson with the run. And Jackson still on his feet and spinning his way to within 1.5 yards of the first down before Wright brings him down. A 14-yard run, but it'll be 4th down coming up.
And this is just design quarterback power. You get the offensive guard out front. Lamar Jackson just doing Lamar Jackson type things, spinning, missing, making people miss, and just short of the line of game for the first down.
4th down and 2. And the field goal team is on. Justin Tucker, 2 for 2 today, looking to give the Ravens the lead. 26-yard try.
Charge timeout. Baltimore.
And the Ravens call a timeout here. Their first timeout of the second half. And we're back after the timeout by the Ravens. And they're going to go for it on 4th down and 2 from the 8-yard line. Extra offensive lineman. Jackson. First down, touchdown. And it looked like a single wing formation, something out of the past in the world of football, and in the single wing formation, an 8-yard touchdown run by Lamar Jackson on 4th and 2. Timeout called after the field goal team was on the field.
Well, you're going to see the motion come across here, lead here, and Lamar Jackson just going to find a way to cut it inside. I called this the heavy spread. This is just the heavy, because every big guy on their roster on the offensive side of the ball is in there. And look at just to put your foot in the ground like a running back and get back inside to score.
And here's Tucker for the extra point, and the kick is good. And with 1:20 remaining in the third quarter, the Ravens with a 20-13 lead. That's the biggest lead either team has enjoyed in this game. Impressive drive of 11 plays using up 5.5 minutes. And the Ravens' best starting field position of the day pays off, and Lamar Jackson 21 yards and 2 running plays, waving off the field goal, and a good use of the timeout after Jackson was frustrated after the 5-yard penalty for delay of the game, and the Ravens up 20-13 in the final minute of this third quarter. Touchback.
Well, you mentioned it, Dick, and here's what I think would happen. You're going to see John Harbaugh address Lamar Jackson. I think he said, "Do you want to go for this?" And he's like, "Yes, let's go for this. Put it on my back, coach." And you see Lamar turn around, tell his offense, "We're going back on the field." John Harbaugh with his little jaunt down to the official, calls the timeout, and I think it's a great decision. Look, Lamar Jackson has the ability to take an entire team and put it on his back. We've seen it already so many times this year, and here's the reaction. "Love you, man. Thank you. Thank you for saying yes."
And a tip of the hat, too. He hugged him and gave him a tip of the hat, too, guys. First down at the 25 for the Seahawks, who trail by 7. Minute 20 to go in the third quarter. Wilson, flush from the pocket, has a defender in his face, and trying to get it to Carson out of the backfield. Incomplete.
You know, John Harbaugh has a unwavering support in his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. A lot of people want to believe that Lamar Jackson is not that type of quarterback, the guy that can do this, run every single play, so to speak. But they are building this football team around his ability to do just that on both sides of the football.
Yeah, he calls it Revolution Baltimore, and he wants to prove that, you know what, that a guy like Lamar Jackson come in and you can build a football team around him that can be successful and can be unique.
Second down and 10. They go underneath to Carson, and he makes the tackle, bringing up third down and 5.
Well, unique is a great word, Mark, because not only are they unique on offense, the things that Greg Roman is doing as an offensive coordinator, the things that Wink Martindale is doing on defense are exceptionally unique. I can't figure it out when I watch the film, and I know you've had the same impression. You're like, what is the basis of this defense? But we know the one thing. It's aggressive. They're going to play a lot of man. They're going to ask a lot of their skill position players, and so far it's winning for him this season.
3rd and 5, and Wilson's been under pressure throughout this entire game by the Ravens, mostly pressure up the middle on him. Quick toss, and Metcalf has it, and a first down. Good play, Carr defending, but 6 yards. First down, Seattle.
Well, here he is out here, and you're just running a little out route at the first down marker, but look at all the people on the line of scrimmage. I mean, Rondé, what you're saying to me as the defense coordinator, Wink Martindale, is we're coming with pressure, we're going to make you block us, and you're going to have to beat our one-to-one coverage right here, our man-to-man coverage.
That's exactly what they do, and they do really well, to be honest with you.
And they get the playoff. Carson pushed back. And again, Josh Bynes, his second tour of duty with the Ravens, making the play on Carson, losing 3, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter. Here in Seattle with the score, the Ravens 20, the Seahawks 13.
Guys, we're talking a lot about Wink Martindale, and how about that play sheet? What do you think's on there?
Right, he's got one sheet of paper. One side says zone, the other side says man. Go.
Start of the 4th quarter. Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, Rondé Barber, and Jen Hale. Touchdown lead. Wilson again getting pressure. Flag is down from back of the backfield, and the flip goes over to Luke Wilson, the tight end. And the penalty marker thrown behind Russell Wilson. Luke Wilson with 2 L's. 6-yard gain. Could be a hold against Wilson himself.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Yeah, Wilson had a lot to do with this play. Not only quarterback Wilson, but the tight end Wilson. This is definitely a hold on Matt Judon. And Russell Wilson is amazing. I mean, really?
Just the fact that you know your guy is back there. Like, you can just dump that over to him. Amazing. And you know, going back to defensive coordinator Wink Martindale, I mean, he has this philosophy: we're going to punch you in the mouth. At the end of the day, we're not leaving anything on the football field. If we get beat, we're going to get beat doing it my way, being aggressive, and you got to love that as a player.
2nd down and 23. Wilson in trouble again, and the pass is batted away by Earl Thomas, so Earl Thomas doesn't get the sack. He gets a defensive play, and Josh Bynes putting the pressure on Wilson again. Flag it down. And they're going to call Josh Bynes. Low hit made by Bynes, and that's going to cost the Ravens.
And this one's hard, Dick and Mark, look, because he's off balance. He gets pushed by his own teammate going into the quarterback. And again, we talk about the protections of the quarterback. This is going to get called 100% of the time, but you know for a fact that Josh Bynes is not intentionally going to the legs of Russell Wilson. It's just one of those penalties that we see over the course of the year that if from a defender's point of view is just tough to deal with.
And that'll give the Seahawks a first down on their 38. Carson. And Carson with a good gain on first down. Meanwhile, it will be 2nd down and 2. And Carson trying to go wide, not going to get there. And wrestled down. Whistle blows. And it was both corners, Humphrey and Carr, combining. And a 2-yard setback.
Just a swarming defense, right?
Well, I tell you what, the 2 guys in the middle, Pierce and Williams, those guys are like trying to block fire hydrants.
Yes.
I mean, they are just so short, compact, squatty, and they tie up offensive linemen, and they not only tie them up, but they shed, and they move well, which is incredible. Their 2 inside guys are really dominating the line of scrimmage right now.
You're trying to run inside zone, and you can't move the 2 guys in the middle. No chance.
3rd down and 4. And Wilson fakes a throw, escapes a sack, gets hit as he fires it up, and the pass is thrown incomplete to DK Metcalf. But once again, the Ravens really making life miserable for Russell Wilson. Josh Bynes was the first to get to him.
Josh Bynes is in the backfield right away, and this is just Houdini acts by Russell Wilson. How he gets this throw off to begin with is amazing. And look how close this is being a catch by DK Metcalf. Just can't quite get underneath it.
Short hopped it.
Ferguson does a great job of taking off his hands and not going all full body weight on Russell Wilson. That would have been another flag had he done that. Really smart by the rookie.
Cyrus Jones coming over toward the sideline, and they'll let it bounce, and it will go into the end zone for a touchback. Flag is down at midfield, so a penalty tossed at midfield.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 41. Half the distance to the goal, first down, timeout.
Well, the Ravens won't have good field position now, as Lamar Jackson taking on that Seahawk defense with a 7-point lead early here in the fourth quarter. How much does Earl Thomas want to win this game today?
Oh, look at him. His passion for football is unlike anybody's I've ever been around.
From the 10-yard line, and Gus Edwards breaking a tackle. Look at Gus Edwards get about 8 yards on first down, and another flag is down. This could be a hold against the Ravens.
Holding, offense number 86. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Tight end Nick Boyle pleading his case to no avail. They place it at the 5.
Well, right on the edge, Bobby Wagner right here. Bobby trying to get off, but Nick Boyle's got the clampers on him.
Now the crowd at 1st and 15 from the 5. From the end zone, directing traffic, drop pass again by Mark Andrews, his 3rd drop of the game, and he would have had the first down.
He's got to catch this football. And Lamar Jackson does a great job in the pocket here, finding time, and Andrews is wide. There's nobody there. He's wide open. I am not sure where his confidence in his hands have gone right now.
I'm telling you what, Lamar Jackson's changed his shoes 3 times. Mark Andrews needs to change his gloves, because those things right now, that is the 3rd drop, and that one is probably going to be a first down, get you off the 5-yard line.
Again from the end zone, sidearm to Mark Ingram, and Ingram is tackled at the 12, bringing up 3rd down and long.
How nice is that little throw, right?
I was just going to say the same thing.
Just moving to your edge and finding yourself a window and changing your arm angle. I don't think quarterbacks get enough credit. The guys who can be accurate while changing the arm angle, almost like a second baseman.
Yeah, this thing is almost underhand. It's almost underhand, Mark. I mean, it's beautiful. We have the ability to do that. We know Matthew Stafford can do that. Russell Wilson obviously could do that. That was a great example.
If he were a pitcher, it could be a submarine pitch.
Kent to Colvin.
Yeah,
remember him?
right.
Back in the old Pittsburgh Pirates.
Very good. 3rd down and 8. Jackson takes off, has the first down, and more. Lamar Jackson tripped up by Thompson, and a huge gain.
Well, if you turn your back to Lamar Jackson, he is going to take off, and you can diagram X's and O's how and why he does this, but he just looks like he's moving at a different speed than everybody else on the football field.
You know why? Because he is moving at a different speed than everybody else. Like, I don't have any of that quick twitch muscle fiber in my body like you and Lamar, but when it came to quick twitch, he may have the most on the face of the planet right there.
30 yards, and he's got 96 yards rushing in the game. From the 42, here is Mark Ingram, and Ingram gets up to the 46. Wright is there. So, you know, there are a lot of people that were maybe afraid to draft Lamar Jackson. He was the last pick in the first round, and a lot of people were reluctant.
Well, the dynamism that he possesses, the ability to make plays out of nothing, to be able to run with what people call limited arm strength. Look, the guy can throw a football. I mean, he can chuck it 50, 60 yards down the football field, and his intermediate game is good. Yes, he's got room to grow, but as an athlete and a pure kind of game-changing type player, there's none like him in the world.
Second down and 6. Good block against Clowney by the Ravens. Jackson is nowhere to go except a first down. What a magician he is with his legs. And a first down to the 41-yard line of Seattle. Ingram with a good block there, picking up 13 yards. It looked like he was trapped for a loss.
Well, this Ravens team and John Harbaugh, as you see Lamar Jackson just making something out of absolutely nothing. They just are like, hey, man, we're revolutionizing football. We're going to reinvent the running game with our quarterback. And those of you who don't think it can happen, just watch what we do here in Baltimore.
We're seeing it happen, Mark.
Gus Edwards leaping his way to about an 8-yard play, and Yonda with another good block, picking up 9.
Let's talk about 4-minute offense starting at about the 12-minute mark, because that's what they're doing right now. They're running the ball, they're cramming it down your throat, and there's nothing more demoralizing to a defense that when you can't get off the field and they're just grinding out 3, 4, 5 yards of carry, and their running backs or their quarterback is converting first downs, running the ball.
Exasperating is the word that you want when you're describing what it is for a defense to be dealing with this right now.
Second down and 1. Here is Edwards. Edwards gets the first down. By the way, Lamar Jackson over 100 yards for the 3rd time this year. He has 109 right now. His pass for 123 and a first down to the 25-yard line.
Well, at times Lamar Jackson can be a drop back runner. Yeah, I use that term kind of casually, but when he drops back to pass, sometimes his real intention is not to throw the football. It is to make you drop in coverage and then take off and go. And I can't quantify how many times that happens a game, but in situations like this, you need a quarterback to take over the game for you. Watch what he does. He's done it all drive here.
Handoff and dropped as Ingram for a loss by Al Woods. 2-yard loss, bringing up second down and 12.
Really great penetration, just a swim move, and I always just think that should be an illegal formation on the defense. When I'm coming off the ball trying to run against you and you throw a swim move, a pass rush move on me on a run situation, I'm like, that should be illegal. They should throw a flag on you defensive players for doing that.
No chance, dude. It's
hey,
already an offensive game.
Right, if I can get called for holding, you should get called for illegal avoidance. Illegal avoidance.
Fake the handoff, play action for Jackson. And he flips it again to Nick Boyle, and Boyle gets a first down and dives inside the 15-yard line and inside the 10 to the 7.
This has been a great drive for Baltimore, and you're going to see another amazing delivery here by Lamar Jackson.
Boy, does he ad-lib, huh?
Yes, he does. Look at that throw. I mean, underneath the arm of Jadeveon Clowney, and these Ravens tight ends like to hurdle people. Boyle says not so much.
The other thing he threw there, not only sidearm, but he threw it back to the inside where the defense wasn't. So he led his receiver back to the inside to get yards after the catch.
They got 20 yards there, and James Hurst is an extra offensive lineman for the Ravens, and confusion reigns. Flag goes down. Everyone seemed to be looking at each other on that snap on the play.
Well, they got 2 guys moving here, so another illegal shift.
That's what it is.
Well, they're playing so fast right now, Mark. You would think, you said 4-minute offense starting at 12 minutes. You want to slow it down at this point, right?
Well, I mean, if you can put this a two-score game, you can put this.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 players moving without reset. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, you're up by a touchdown right now, so even a field goal puts us at a 2-score game.
Well, he did play the Canadian national anthem before we got underway, and if this game were played in Canada, there'd be no flag there, right?
Well, it's exchange rate, right? You get more for your money there, or something of that nature. So
these guys in back-to-back weeks have gone on extremely long drives to kill football.
10-minute drive last week. 1st and goal at the 12 now. And he's going to keep it himself is Jackson. He gets to the 10. Boona Ford brings him down. 2nd and goal.
And as much as Lamar Jackson runs, and as much as he's run today so far, that's the first time that somebody has squared him up. And that's what they look at. They're saying, hey, listen, we know we have a running quarterback, and we know that it's dangerous, but it's dangerous. This is a dangerous game.
Yes.
That's the first time he's been squared up. He's done a good job of eliminating some of those big hits. He's got a great awareness about him when it comes to that.
They've used up 6:43 of time. 2nd and goal. Jackson falls down and can't do anything with it. There'll be another loss on the play, bringing up 3rd and goal. So it'll be a sack.
Well, the issue all day has been his footing, and I don't know how many times he changed cleats, but you can see, man, it's wet. It's got all those little ground-up rubber tires in that turf, and he just can't seem to get consistent footing out here. The good thing he did, though, there, Mark, just eat it. Take the sack. Let the clock continue to run for his offense.
Brandon Jackson will get credit for the sack, although you're right, he slipped first. 3rd and goal from the 12. 8-minute drive. Here is Ingram, and Ingram fighting his way to the 4-yard line. And it'll be 4th and goal from the 4. And Justin Tucker, as Jackson goes to the sideline, what a game he's played. 111 yards rushing.
And remember where that drive started, Dick.
10-yard line.
10-yard line, back to the 5-yard line, and then the entirety of the field taking up all that time. That is a phenomenal job, especially if they come over with points here.
21-yard try coming up. Making a 22-yard attempt for Tucker.
And the clock just keeps on ticking. Going to be underneath 4 minutes.
Tick, tick, tick. Exactly right, Mark. They should not kick this until that ball gets under the clock, shot clock, or play clock gets under 5 seconds here.
And Tucker remains perfect on the season with the field goal, his 3rd of the game. And the Ravens have opened up a 10-point lead with 3:47 remaining. And yes, Lamar Jackson performing the magic again in a big road game. How about giving your defense a rest with 2 drives, combining nearly 14.5 minutes, getting a touchdown and a field goal. 24 plays, and Lamar Jackson, the field general, doing it with his arm and his leg. And a 23-13 game with 3:47 remaining in regulation. And Seattle will take it out at the 25.
Oh, what a couple of drives it was, wasn't it, Mark? It's all running game. Yes, he dropped back to pass a little bit, but this was on the ground where they've made their hay all season. You run the football when it mattered, put it in your quarterback's hands, and let him go to work.
And it's unreal. I mean, you think about this, 14.5 minutes of possession in 2 drives. So in the last 2 drives, you possessed the ball for the total of a quarter, with your quarterback making plays with his feet, ending in a field goal, and putting it up to a two-score game.
And a fresh defensive unit out there for the Ravens. 1st down from the 25. Russell Wilson's first pass to Metcalf. And Metcalf had it, lost it, and is picked up by the Ravens. And running in is Marlon Humphrey for the touchdown. Wow. Or did he step out of bounds? It's a touchdown. They'll review it, of course.
Ruling on the field is a completed pass followed by a fumble.
Metcalf made the reception, lost it, and Humphrey, and a well-deserved team picture right now. We'll see if it goes on the booth review.
Well, it's a clear recovery by Humphreys, but if he stepped out of bounds, If Humphrey steps out of bounds before he picks this thing up, he's ineligible to touch it first. But it's got to be a catch first. See, DK Metcalf, this is a catch. He made two football moves and then dropped the football inexplicably. But look at
Humphrey steps out of bounds down on the sideline.
Now, if he stepped out of bounds, he can't be the first one to touch it coming back in.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. He has to reestablish both feet.
He has to reestablish with both feet, yes.
So he steps out.
Which he did.
He does, and he just reestablishes himself with both feet inbounds before he scoops up the ball for a score. So,
but this is just, how does this happen? DK Metcalf, sure-handed, just drops a football. I know it's wet, but wow. Crucial part of the game, and your rookie wide receiver drops a football. That's just inexplicable.
Carr and Thomas were both there before Humphrey picked it up and had both feet to establish himself. And Dean Blandino, you've had a look at this, Dean. What's your thoughts?
Couple things to look at. First, is it a catch? It did look like he put the ball away. It's close, but I do think he performs a football move.
Then the touchdown is under further review.
They're going to look at it, obviously.
Yes.
Then the second part becomes the recovery. Now, the defensive player, if he's out of bounds, he has to reestablish with both feet before he can touch that loose ball. So here you go. You're going to see him out. Now he's going to get 1, 2, then pick up the football. So the recovery looks good, and then he stays in bounds the rest of the way.
Wow. What a turn of events. Obviously, this was going to be a tough comeback for Seattle, but this play, wow. I'm sitting here watching it again and can't believe that he dropped that football.
Well, he puts it in. He catches it, puts it in his right hand. He's got it tucked away. He makes a step, and then he tries to switch it to the left hand because the defender is coming from the inside out. So, you know, I mean, they teach you, right? Okay, get it away from the defender now, switch hands with it, and it just goes out the back door right there, right under the breadbasket. That's a lot. I mean, that is a catch. That is a live football.
Now let's watch Humphrey.
Presence of mind. He's out of bounds right there, but he establishes himself with both feet back in bounds before he scoops it up and down the sideline.
Now the ruling on the field that it was a touchdown.
1, 2. Yep, that's clean.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
It is a touchdown, and the second defensive touchdown by the Ravens today. Marcus Peters with a pick six of 67 yards. And now Marlon Humphrey recovering the fumble, 18-yard, running it in for the touchdown.
Just being opportunistic, and you feel bad for DK Metcalf. That's a rookie mistake, obviously dropping the football there. He's got great hands. It's not, you don't want to say it's not his fault, but slick ball, drops it. Ravens take advantage.
Justin Tucker with the extra point. And so with 3:37 remaining, the Ravens have opened up a 30-13 lead over the Seahawks. This crowd here is stunned by the developments here in the fourth quarter.
Well, we talked a lot about the offenses of both of these teams, but it was earlier in the game. This interception by Marcus Peters, mistake by Russell Wilson, 7 points. And then later in the game, just a minute ago, mistake by DK Metcalf, dropping the ball, and Marlon Humphrey's taking advantage.
So secondary playing well, and how about this for Peters? First player with an interception for two different teams in consecutive weeks since at least 1950. He had a pick for the Rams against the 49ers last week, a pick six today against the Seahawks.
And Wink Martindale, defense coordinator, told us, hey man, you can't argue with the dude's production. We love it. You know what? He was right.
Tyler Lockett returning the kick and down at the 20. So you could say that it's the Ravens defense 14, the Seattle Seahawks 13. Well, Friday's SmackDown moved for one time only from Fox to FS1. All the great SmackDown superstars in action Friday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific as always. But remember to turn to FS1 for this one special airing of Friday Night SmackDown.
Well, Rhonda, I was going to ask you in the last drive, do you continue to bring the pressure and play man, or do you play off a little bit?
I think they're playing off.
Now, I think that becomes moot. They just play a little zone now.
Yeah, they're going to play a bunch of too deep, keep everything
Russell
in front of you,
Wilson
make
completes
tackles.
the pass to Jacob Hollister.
Incomplete pass.
Incomplete.
And Russell Wilson's created a lot of magic over the course of this season on their 5-1 run. There's not enough left, not enough time left for him to do that here. And first really off game of the year that I've seen. They played a bunch of close games, a bunch of close wins. And this was just not enough. Some mistakes by him, mistake by his rookie wide receiver. His game's a little bit out of reach at this point.
Wilson going downfield, and it's going to be caught by Brown, and Brown will be down at the 32-yard line, down by contact as the clock continues to run. 3 minutes to go.
Good concentration by Ron Brown there. And Humphries got back in phase just at the last time and nearly knocked that away.
48-yard play and a first down at the 32 with under 3 minutes now remaining in the fourth. Wilson incomplete, trying to get it to Brown again, stops the clock at 2:51.
And I think one of the things we have to acknowledge is, yeah, it was an off game for Russell Wilson. Wasn't his best, but you got to give a lot of credit to Wink Martindale. Think about this. Your starting linebacker is not, you know, I mean, Bynes wasn't here a couple of weeks ago. You went out and got Peters on Tuesday, right? He wasn't part of this defense, so you've changed a lot of the pieces of the puzzle.
And the pass thrown underneath to Lockett, and Lockett gets 9 yards. Remember a little while ago I said that the Ravens were second in the league in scoring at 31 points a game. They've got 30 right now, but the defense has accounted for a couple of touchdowns. Here's Carson.
I think the point you made earlier was correct. Seahawks 13, Ravens defense 14. And that's all that needs to be said. It's tough to win football games in the NFL when your defense is scoring more than your opposing defense is scoring more than the offense.
First down at the 22. And Wilson to Hollister.
And that point is what it is. I mean, it's well taken. You give credit to the Ravens defense, but this game was decided by Lamar Jackson. Those two drives that we mentioned right before that last turnover by Seattle were the difference in the football game.
Yeah, it was a 13-13 ball game when he took over, and then the next thing you know, you look up, it's 3rd and 13, and he just orchestrated with his feet.
And Wilson throws up a floater out of bounds. And we'll have the 2-minute warning now at 1:58 on 3rd down and 5. So Jackson throwing for 143, rushing for 111. The beat goes on for this Raven team headed for their 3rd in a row. It'll be a 3rd down and 5 at the 17, 2-down territory, obviously, for the Seahawks, who are trailing 30-13. Wilson getting pressure again, and this pass is incomplete. It was Metcalf defended by Humphrey. Well, remember, it was 13-13 when Jason Myers missed a 53-yard field goal, and then the Ravens took over with their best field position of the day and capitalized on it in those 2 great drives. And then the defensive touchdown on top of that put him in command and has stunned this crowd. Not used to this kind of result for the Seahawks here.
Not at all. And then leaving early, which never happens here in Seattle.
This will be a 35-yard field goal, and it's good. Jason Myers with the field goal to make it 30-16 with 1:49 on the clock. By the way, Seattle still has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Thank you very much. So Harbaugh has the smile of a victor, but the field goal made it a 2-score game for whatever that's worth with 1:49 remaining. But what a day for that man.
Well, there's no question about it. I'm thinking about one of the big turning points of the game. You talked about the missed field goal by Myers, but they drove the ball down. They were going to kick a field goal to go up 16-13, and what did he say? I want that opportunity to take it in on 4th down and 2. He converts for a touchdown, and the rest is history, guys. Turning point of the game, number 8, Lamar Jackson.
21 yards rushing on 2 plays in the 8-yard touchdown run. Huge. Well, we're still looking for our first successful onside kick of the year.
No, it's virtually impossible, and because of the inability to run up to the line, to the kicking line, and get a head start, you just can't gain enough momentum to get to the 10 yards and get to this ball.
Ravens call a timeout, and they have 1 left. So the Ravens headed for their 5th win in 7 tries, in their 3rd in a row. Browns and Steelers on their bye weeks. And what kind of a feeling this has to be for Earl Thomas, and you could just look at it and know. Coming back to Seattle for the first time wasn't a pleasant finish for him, for Thomas, after the broken leg last year. 9 years with the Seahawks, 6-time Pro Bowler, 1-time #1 pick for Seattle. But the fruits of victory for him today in a Raven uniform. Cyrus Jones on the big hop goes down immediately. Well, the Seahawks drafted Earl Thomas with that 14th overall pick back in 2010. In 9 years with the Seahawks, played in 2 Super Bowls, winning Super Bowl 48, selected first team All-Pro 3 times, and of course returns today. Great satisfaction for him, huh?
Absolutely. Gotta be. This is a big win for a lot of reasons. One, if you're Baltimore, because of winning a game for Earl Thomas as he returns home to Seattle here, but also we just put up those standings of the NFC North, and I don't think a lot of people expected Baltimore, or AFC North, I'm sorry, Baltimore to be this type of football team with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. And all they have done all season long is answer the questions that people have doubted them for, and give them credit. This is a tough place to come all the way across the country. They can't go any farther across the country and win in a tough environment, and they have done it today.
I think one of the things that's interesting is when you play kind of smash mouth football on the offensive side of the ball, you know what happens to your defense? Your defense in turn learns how to defend and play smash mouth football. This is one of the most physical teams in all the National Football League, and I'm telling you, you look week in and week out, the teams that control the line of scrimmage are the teams that win football games, and the Baltimore Ravens certainly did that here today.
Oh, that's their stated intention on both sides, from both coordinators.
And they seem confident coming into this game when we talked to them yesterday. Gus Edwards with a couple of yards, stopped by Wagner, no gain on the play. It'll be a bye week for John Harbaugh and his team, and then they have the Patriots. They go to Cincinnati. But they have built a pretty good cushion in their division, and when they win that division, they're in the playoffs. And I don't know if they have a real concern about that at this point.
I mean, Cincinnati is nothing to write home about. Pittsburgh is dealing with quarterback issues, in Cleveland, the most hyped team in football coming into the year, is not what everybody expected.
Here's the other thing. How do you practice against this offense when you're not allowed to hit anymore in practice?
True. That's a great point, Mark.
It is so unique, and it is so hard to defend what they do, and you don't get that physicality during the week. So the first time you feel it, you know, you're shocked by what they do.
Hey, and there is Jackson carrying it on the fake handoff and gets the first down.
I mean, how?
How about that?
Seriously. I mean, how do you ever get that fit? How do you ever get that feel for what they do? It literally is impossible, and you've got to try to obviously get them in 3rd down and long situations and hope, you know, that they can't complete passes. But this is so unique.
Huge road win. The only team with a winning record that they faced before was Kansas City, and they lost. And instead of handing off to Edwards, he carries himself and gets the first down. 119 yards rushing. Yes, a first down for Lamar Jackson.
We laugh and we giggle, and because it's entertainment, right? It's not that you feel sorry for Seattle's defense trying to stop this. Everybody's faced this, and this guy is going to set records as a running quarterback that will not ever be touched this season. And just insult to injury, go for it on making that first down there. But Look, Seattle came up against an immovable force here in Baltimore with this quarterback.
And Seattle really has struggled at home this year. They're 2-2. They win 2 games each by a point, lost to Seattle, and they lose to Baltimore here. So their 3-game winning streak is snapped. They go to 5-2, and with the 49ers winning, 49ers remain in control, leading that NFC West. And for Pete Carroll, his team, victims again to what the Ravens are doing to the rest of the league. And there is the standings now.
Yeah, well, I will tell you this. Best feeling in the world, the best sentence in the world as an offensive lineman is, hey, guys, we're going down on it right now. That's a victory formation. That is the best in the world right there.
And the Ravens starting the season now at 5-2, and the last time they did that was 2014 when they finished the year 10-6, and they went to the playoffs, lost to New England. But a tremendous victory, 2 defensive touchdowns, including an interception by Marcus Peters, who just joined the team. And for Earl Thomas, great satisfaction. Want to remind you, coming up next, it's the OT presented by Lowe's, and the final score, the Ravens 30 and the Seahawks 16.